Hi guys, happy Wednesday. So today we are going to do or review the distributive property. We're going to use the distributive property and we're going to do something called combine like terms. I'm sure you remember it, but we're going to go through it. It won't take very long. I hope not, but we know I talk a lot, so we'll see. So the first thing that you see is an algebraic expression. So you have 7a squared plus 16 minus 8b plus 6a plus 9a to the third. That is an algebraic expression. The reason this is an expression is because it doesn't have an equal sign. So here we go. We're going to review terms. So we did term last week. And so part of an expression separated by a positive or an addition or negative sign. Okay, so this is a term. 7a to the third is a term. Okay, 16 is a term. 8b is a term. So, and notice that all of these terms are separated by an addition sign or a subtraction sign. The coefficient is the number of a term. It's the number in front of the variable. So we'll put the number in front of a term. So 7 is the coefficient. So I'm just going to write this and then I'm going to circle the coefficient. So 7 is the coefficient. Now let's look at 6a. So if we look at 6a, you guys, what is the coefficient? So the coefficient is always the number in front of the term or in front of the variable. That's a better one that I like, but this is a good definition. So the 6 is the coefficient. What do you think the a is called? Did you say variable? You're right. So the 6 is the coefficient, the a is the variable, together they make a term. So let's go over that again. So let's look at 9a to the third. 9 is the coefficient, a to the third is the variable, the entire thing is the term, okay? Like terms are terms that have the same variable raised to the same power. So in order to be like terms, it would be something like 7a to the third and 9a to the third. They have the same variable and the same power. Those are like. So the coefficients don't have to be the same, but the variables do. So a is a variable, 3 is a power. A is a variable, 3 is a power. They match. They are like terms. So if you were in class, I would ask you, can you think or can you give me an example of like terms? So in your head, I want you to think of like terms. I'm going to write a pair. They probably won't match yours, but let's see. So if I have that, I like the letter V. So I'm going to use V. So I'm going to say 10V and I'm going to use 8. So 10V to the 8th, I need a like term. So it doesn't necessarily have to have a number, you guys, but it does have to have the same variable, the same exponent. So I'm going to use negative 11V to the 8th. So those are like terms. Notice the coefficients don't have to be the same, but the variables are. So I have V, and they're both raised to the 8th power. That is what we call a like term. And then we're going to go review what a constant term is. A constant is a number that is a lone. So if we look at this problem, right, at the top here, you guys, 16 is a constant. It doesn't have a variable, doesn't have an exponent. It's just a number by itself. So let's make sure we understand that. So if we're looking at this expression again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Oop, that's a little too much. Okay, this is an algebraic expression, doesn't have an equal sign. 7a to the third, 16, negative 8b, 6a, and 9a to the third, those are all terms. The number in front of the letters are called coefficients. Like terms are terms that have the same variable and the same exponent. Same variable, same exponent. And then a constant term is just a number that's by itself. So any number, you guys, -11, 1/2, any number that's by itself. Okay, so now that we did that, now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of combining like terms. Okay, let's see. Can you see that, you guys? I know you can because it's on your paper, but we're going to go through this. So what I'm going to do is what I like to do. It says draw lines in front of each plus or minus. So I want you to know I'm going to circle all my like terms. So I'm going to circle anything with a 3x. Not with a 3x, but with an x. Notice that -3x, I take that negative. So do you see anything else with an x? Did you say 4x? Yes, but you're going to take the sign in front of it, and then I see this. So those are all like terms. Now, when you combine them, you look at the number that's in front of them. So I have -3x, -4x, and if there's not a number that's in front of it, you guys, we just put a 1. So we have -3 plus -4 plus -1. So 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. And they're all negative, so I'm going to put -8x here. Now, I'm going to go with 12y. I'm going to put a box. -12. So is there anything else that's just a plain old number? I see this -8, and I see this 1. So you guys look. So these are all constant terms. They have no variables. And I'm just going to add them. -12 minus 8. Or you can say -12 and -8. Remember what we learned. They have the same sign, so you add them. That's -20. -20 plus 1. You spent $20. You paid me $1 back, you guys. You still owe me $19. Okay, so if you want to, I let you use your calculator. So you would put in -12 plus -8 plus 1. Do all that and you'll get -19. Now our very last like term. See all the y's? So I have this right here, this right here, and this right here. So I have 5 plus y plus 6. Remember what I said. If there's no number in front of the variable, it's 1. So I have 5 plus 1 plus 6. Well, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. And I'm going to put that y. So again, you guys, 3, 4, and 1. Those were all negative, so I add them all together. I had 2 negatives and a positive, so I did 12 and 8. I got -20, plus the 1 gave me -19. And then I did 5 plus 6 plus 1. Now I have 3 boxes. Now I'm going to I'm going to write it as my answer. So to write it as my answer, I'm going to put -8x first, then just -19. And since that's positive, I'm going to write plus 12y. That is combining like terms. Okay, let's do example 2. You guys remember you can pause me at any time. How did I get those? Go back and rewind. I always encourage you to do that. Let's try example 2. And this will be part 1 and then I'll upload part 2. Okay, so I always start with my first letter. So I've got -m squared. So that's my first one. So I'm looking for anything that has an m that's raised to the second power. No m raised to the second power. It has an m, but not to the second. Has an m, not to the second. -12, 10m to the second. Oh, that's a second, so I'm going to circle that. M, but not to the second, and then I'm going to circle this one. Now, what number is in front of the m's? Do you remember what I said? If there's no number in front of it, what is it? Did you guys say 1? It is. So this is a negative 1. This is a positive 10. This is a 1. So I had negative 1 plus 10 is positive 9. 9 plus m, 9 plus 1 is 9m squared. I'm sorry, I lied. It's 10m squared. Because negative 1 plus 10 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So that is a 10. Yep, even Miss Flurry makes mistakes. Okay. Now, we're going to go with constants. So I'm going to put a little box around here. And I'm looking for constant terms. Constant terms are ones without variables. So 17 and negative 12, everything else has a variable. So I'm going to worry about those. So I have 17 minus 12. 17 minus 12 is 5. Now I have this, and this. So I had $3, you guys. I had 3 M's to spend, basically. I spent 7. Did I have enough money to spend those? I didn't. So 3 minus 7 is negative 4. So I owe someone $4. You guys, I spent another $2. Well, guess what? I still owe that person $6. So negative m plus 10 plus m gave me 10m squared. 17 minus 12 gave me 5. 3 minus 7 minus 2 gave me negative 6. And now I'm going to combine all of that. And I don't mean combine it all into one answer, so you have one number. What I'm saying is now we're just going to rewrite it. So I have 10m squared. That's a positive 5, so I'm going to write plus 5. You guys, that says negative 6m, so I'm just going to bring it down and write that. You guys, don't get confused with if it's negative or not. It says negative, just write it as negative 6m. And that is how you combine like terms. So this is part 1. And then what we're going to do is we'll do part 2. Okay?